All right, so take some time, write this down. I'm gonna make it a little brighter so it's easier to see. So there are the answers. We're gonna move on to the next one. We're gonna review some rounding because, I mean, folks, experience tells me that, right? Rounding is always an issue, all the way to grade 12, right? So you can never have enough of this. So I want you to round all of these numbers to 2 decimals, right? So I would recommend you writing them all down and then round so you can see what happened from one step to the other. Okay, so round to 2 decimals accordingly. Some of them are tricky, but it can be done. Okay. Actually record this so I don't forget. Right. So round the following to nearest 2 decimals. So basically what you're doing is you're truncating it, right? You're cutting it and just leaving 2 decimals, right? So before you do that, you look to the right of where you're cutting. If this is a 5 or greater, it bumps this number up. If it's less than 5, it keeps it the same. So this would be 1798. Okay. Here again, you're cutting. This is a 9, which is 5 or greater, bumps that up to a 5. Okay. You're cutting it here again. The 4 does not affect the 5 because it's less than 5 here, right? So it's just 1945. Here again, you do that. The 9 is definitely greater than 5. So that would be 201.99. Okay. Next, over here, this is called a ripple effect, right? So this 8 will bump this to a 10. You write down the 0, right? And then you bump up the next one to a 2. So this would be 1048.20 technically. Okay. Again, here you're cutting it there, right? So the 6 would bump that to a 10, right? Would bump this to a 10, would bump this to a 9, right? So you essentially get 259.00. So it's 259.00. Here you cut it there, the 7 bumps this, right? It bumps that. Keep going, it bumps that, it bumps that, and then you get 5 there. So this will be 500 exactly. Okay. Over here, the 4 doesn't really affect that, so it's 789.99. Okay. 789.99 there. And that's how you round. Okay, so most of them we do to 2 decimals. That's like the norm. Especially if it's money, you want to have 2 decimals no matter what. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to do this, which all of this I've covered to a certain degree. So now we're going to determine the following. So I want you to actually calculate that, and then we'll continue all together as a group, okay? Give you a few more minutes there, and then we'll bring it in as a class. All right. I think we're gonna go over it now. So, as you probably already know, right, you cannot work with percentages as they are. You have to convert them. So you go 3 divided by 100, which gets you 0.03. In math is always times 250, and that's a dollar amount, right? So that would be 750. Make sure you have dollars and always 2 decimals no matter what. Even if the calculator just gives you 1, you add the 0 to the right. This is 0.0275, right? If you divide this by 100, you'll be right every time. And so I convert that to a decimal, then I multiply, and I get 6876. That's rounded. Okay. Divide this by 100, that gives you 0.085 times 675, and that gives you 574. 574. Okay. And then we have one that's a little trickier, 2.75%. I would maybe say rewrite it like this, and then you divide that by 100. That gives you 0.0275. Multiply it by that, and you get 15,536.96. Okay, 15,536.96. So that's that here. And now I put in a little twist. You're supposed to find a percentage of people. First, we're going to convert that to a decimal, right? So that's 25, sorry, point, right? 0.2564. Multiply that by 7,850. And that gives you 2012.74. Round it, but we are dealing with people, right? So we need whole units. So whenever we're talking about number of things, and it's not money, it's not distance, anything like that, that's approximately, you're looking at the whole unit here, the ones. You look to the right, just like rounding, so the 7 bumps that up to 3. I'm running out of room there. People, okay? So you got to be very aware the context will tell you that you're supposed to round to the nearest whole number. So next we're going to do some proportions. And again, I need you to write these down. If you want to write down solve, that's up to you. I would probably write them all down first. And then I'll give you some time to do that. So about a minute to 2 minutes per question, right? So you'll say about 10 minutes or so. And then I'll take it back, okay? So when you cross multiply and divide, you always look for the 2 numbers that multiply diagonally. So right here, you don't have 2 numbers, right? But here you do. So you, in a sense, want to circle that, right? So those 2 are the ones you multiply, and the one that's left over is the one you divide everything by. So this is how you show your work. N is equal to 38 times 45. I use brackets for that, right? So these 2 have to multiply, and then you divide by 76. And so you type this in your calculator, and then you get your answer, right? So that's how you do all of them. So just give that a try. Gotta go. So essentially, you want to find those 2 numbers that are diagonally across each other, okay? Sorry, that's my bad. Somebody's saying, is there a question D? And somehow I guess it slipped. There's no D, so just skip it. In this course, proportions is going to be huge, right? So it's not just solving it, but actually we're going to spend some time setting it up. So you usually have to give you something that is true, and then they'll tell you, well, if this is true and this is 38, what would n have to be, kind of thing. So that's going to be an ongoing way of solving. So by the way, I'm just going to do it for the first one. If you have a decent calculator, you can just go 38 times 45 divided by 76 in one shot when it's like this. Okay. I personally, I usually what I do is I just go 38 times 45 like that, and then I go divide it by whatever's at the bottom, just to spread it out. So it's 22.5 what you're getting there. And we have no units, so you don't need to put a zero here. If it had been dollars, then yes, okay? So that's where it is. So here, the two numbers that multiply are right there. So M would be 3.95, right, times 95.7. You divide by what's left over. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and set them all up. Here, the two numbers are there, so X is going to be 0.85. I need to see this step and then the answer, not straight to the answer, okay? And this is 19.75. So we're going to figure out what those are in a bit. I just want to set them all up. M here, the two numbers that can cross multiply diagonally are there. So that's 1058.98 over 78.98. So M is there. L, these are the only two you can multiply. $0.98. L is that. K. So without doing the circle thing anymore, right? Because that's really just for you to see. You don't need to do that, although it's okay if you do. Okay, so you write it all down like that. All right, so I've already calculated this. So we get 3.04 rounded for M here. X is 0.05 rounded to 2 decimals. M is 102.17 here. L is 0.03. K is 0.51. So there you have it. It's proportional reasoning, right? Cross, multiply, and divide. You're basically figuring out what are the two, these two fractions are now exactly the same if you were to use 22.5 in here. Okay, if you figure out what this is, it should amount to exactly the same as on this side, like the decimals of them. Okay. So write this down, and then I will continue with the back page. So I have a lot of stuff, like we've got, we won't get to it all today. I've got more trig, like Pythagorean theorem. We're going to talk about, isosceles, equilateral, right triangles, all that, knowing how to classify them. And because I'm doing stuff online now, like live streaming, I had to, I put something together to make sure we're all on the same page and you can easily read the same thing. I don't use a whiteboard or anything like that anymore. Okay. Gone out are those good old days. All right, so next page. So we're gonna evaluate some expressions here. So let me just, there it is. So we're just gonna cover up number 6 here. I just want you to write them down at least. If you're not sure how to do them, at the very least write them down so that, and leave a little bit of space in between questions because I am gonna do some work here, okay? Okay, there. 680 over 141 plus all of this gives you 252 exactly. Let's rewrite another line. If you compute this, you get 4.8226 and it keeps going plus 252. I have this on my screen. I would add the 252 to that and you get 256.82 rounded to 2 decimals. Okay. All right, last one here before I make you hand in stuff. Okay, so when you have a fraction in front of a whole number, as is the case here, the 3 multiplies to 250. You can use brackets, you can use x if you'd like, and you divide it by the denominator here. That's essentially what it is, because remember, 250 technically has a denominator of 1. And when you multiply two fractions, you multiply the numerators, the tops, and the denominators, which just gives you 14. So just remember, it's the numerator times the whole number divided by 14, and you will be fine. And so you get 53.57, but it's people, so you have to round. Right? You look at the 3, the 5 bumps up to 4, so 54 people. Right? That's going to come up down the road. Sometimes at higher grades you do some probability. So we're going to leave it at that. Okay, we're going to stop it there. And now I want you to upload onto, like if you go to Google Classroom, and it says how to upload your work, right? There's that assignment that I put in there, and just scan 2 or more pages. You can do it of your notes of what you just did or anything, any other notes from other subjects, and submit it to me so I can see it there, okay?